So again, understanding events. We have different ways at which event occurs. When an insert is going on, an event is occurring. When a modification is going on, event is occurring. When a deletion is ongoing, an event is occurring. When a rename, when the rename actually works, this rename trigger, when it actually works in BC. Do you know when it actually works?
When you
trigger?
when you it looks like modify, but it's not modify per se.
Okay, so let me sharpen the understanding, because from what you have said, it means that you are not yet sure precisely why this rename works or how it works.
I've not used it before. Okay.
Yeah. Even me, most of the time, I did not use it until I started to use it before I fully understood where it works and why it is here.
Okay.
So why would we have onmodify, and then Business Central would want to still say they want to provide another event that does the same thing? Why the repetition of a method? So basically, rename event occurs when there is a change in the primary key of the document. You could modify the rest of the field, right? So imagine, look at it. Let's look at it in reality. My name is David. When I change my name to Aziz, have I not changed my identity?
Of course you have.
Yes, so that is when the rename occurs, because it has to do with the primary key. So it's a modification that occurs on just the primary key. That is why you see sometimes when you now change it, the system will prompt you when you want to change any primary key. The system will prompt you that you want to change this guy. So that is when this event occurs. So this is just by the way. So I believe that this has added to the understanding. Now, thank God for this. Like I said, I had already learned from this, and I will be able to explain more. So if you look at the table level, we have 4 events.
Yeah.
We have Oninsert, we have onmodify, we have ondelete, we have on rename. Business Central had already created all of these events already, right? Whenever a document is being initialized with a new data, on insert occurs. On modify, when you are modifying an existing field, even in so trigger on delete when you delete a document, on rename, like explained. Now see the difference when I'm working with these triggers in a table extension. So do I have table extension here? No. So let's use this table extension here. So when I say my trigger, now I have on after inserts, on before inserts, on after inserts,
Yeah.
on before inserts, and just for the rest of the events. Then I now still have the regular events. Why do you think all of these events exist on the table extension
because we are extending a table with a base application. So it means if you have a customization in mind and you want a particular action to take place before the original table on insert Shiga is called, then you would have to put it on your own before, because you have to put it on your own before insert. If you want it to happen immediately after your own insert of the original table has taken place, then you put it on your own after insert.
Some of your definition is right. All of it is right, but is not answering this particular event. Now, as just take for instance, this is how event works. So let's go back to the table A, table B. This is the original table. By standard, this is the table that comes with that. This is the standard table, and it already has the triggers on insert, on modify, on delete, and on rename. Now, I'm now extending it. I'm extending it. Note that probably there must have been a lot of code on the trigger on insert, trigger on modify, but I want to also write into the existing function. That means Business Central must have, because they said on before insert, that means they must have put a method here called and after they have written their own standard code, then we have. Now, let me now shed more light. In order for you not to break the standard at which or the sequence at which what was written at initial, they introduce this on before, because this table already exists and it already has on insert, on modify, on delete. Now, if you want to write your code, do you want to write it before? You already know how the standard insert does. Maybe you have interacted with you've interacted with the front end. You already saw the things it requires before it inserts. Now you want to add more features or more conditions before even inserting. Now you are in a table extension. You are extending table that already exists, already has lines of code.
Yes.
Now, that way you are able to put your code in a specific direction or in a specific order on before even the system validation runs or system event runs. I want you to first check all of these conditions, then the code runs on before. Or after it has validated everything, maybe you want to do something at the end of the day, and they now still give you the flexibility to still write on inserts. You just want to write continuously on what has been written. But yeah, you have a specific direction. All right, so now let's now work on events, subscriber events. What is it called? Is it event publisher? Is it event publisher? Can I remember? I can't really remember for now. I can't remember the name. So when I start typing, before event integration, because you have to have an integration event before you can subscribe to it. Integration events, you are writing these functions down or these events down. In case someone else wants to use that module and he wants to be able to modify, look at like posting routine. We have to go and check. So let me just give an example so I'll be able to explain better. So what should we work on? So we want to learn how to put events like So let me work with which document should I work with? So let's work with this existing document ABC. Now, let's take for instance, let's take for instance, within this table, we have a function. Let's say a function, a procedure echo name, right? So this event returns a text, right? So at the end of the day, we have our begin and end. Then we have a local variable called hmm, is handled, which is Boolean. So by standard, this is what we want to do. We want to pass in a text. What's it called? What can we use as the text? Right? So the procedure is very simple. We want to be able to collect a text value, and at the end of the day, we want to message. We just want to say message your name is. So we pass in that placeholder. Yeah. Then we pass in the username. Right? So this is the normal thing this event will do. So I would like to even test it first. Then after testing it, then we can now write an integration event. Then we can also now try to subscribe to the event. Integration event is more like you're just putting that signature down that whenever, just in case anything occurs, right? This is there in case, and you can only activate it if you subscribe to that event. So I've saved this guy. So this is table B. So I want to go to page B and I want to create an action. Within this action, I want to say, so let's add code here. Let's say user name text. And at this point, I want to say username equals Dayo. Right? So, and another thing I feel like, not for you though, so just for anybody that will later watch this video, because I've seen it occur very frequent. The page doesn't have any relationship with the record, except when we are defining this record. You see when we say the source table is what? Table. That is when we create a relationship between the page and the table. Now the page data, and some people make the mistake to say, because of the data exists on the table, and I want to call that the data, I just want to call the function directly. What was the name we used? It will be, we used echo name. Then you discover I say echo name, the system doesn't even bring suggestion, and nothing occurs. So before we can use the function that exists in the table, we have to let it be known by saying, using the keyword record. Record is now saying, I want to access the table. So what do you want to access there? The echo name. Now we want to pass the username. Remember, we did not do anything much here. It's just a normal function.
Yes.
So if I publish this, oh shit. Okay, I have application area hole. Okay, I think that will suffice. This is promoted through caption. I remember when I was still reading events those days. I did not understand Shibu. I kept on reading it. It was making sense, but I was just looking like, where do you use it? And you know, Microsoft is very funny. They don't put a use case.
Exactly. What's the use case? What's the use case? Where do you use it? Where does it apply?
I'm telling you. So we have the function. Yeah, echo name. So when I click it, it gives me the results I need. Your name is Dayo, which is fine. Now I want to create an event. I go back to the table B. I define the integration events by using C event integration. Can you see integration events? Now I want to now say,
Yeah.
I want to call this alter echo name function. Right? So the sender is, so let's go back again. Come here. Include sender true. Global access, global variable access. So let's keep this true. So what is it saying? All right, so let me just maintain my false. No verse. All right, so within this procedure, I am going to be using two variables. Or let me just say one. So I'm going to use a global variable, var user name. All right, equals text. Now I want to now say, at this point, username is equals to oh, sorry, integration event, sorry. So integration event, I just want to put a signature. And the other thing I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm calling this integration events exactly where I want to run the function. So I can see it takes argument of username, right? Does this make sense?
Yes, it's making sense.
All right, so we didn't do much. We just created an integration event and we place it just like Microsoft have done on before. We could have said on before, and we could still put on after, right? At the end of the day, let's remove this message. So let's also do that same thing on before, right? Let's also now create on after. Let's just try to mimic that process. On before first, on after next. Now, so we can also now choose to do some other stopper, or if you are used to seeing how Microsoft actually does the events, they put some condition saying maybe if it is handled, then exit, because they don't want to continue with the sequence of the code again. We could also do that, but let's just work with this at first. So normally at the end of the day, we want to return what's the username. Now we want to create an event. We go to the page, which is the page B. We won't be able to create a subscriber here, I'm certain. Okay, let's see, can we? That makes sense. Page. No. Yeah, page. Can we have table and page? Yeah. You know why I used table?
Our second is going to be page. Because that's where we defined our integration.
We did it on the table.
Oh, okay. I thought it was on the page.
So we ought to say from the table, that's database instead. So what's the name of that event again? On before. Look at me.
I think that
Table
table is
B.
the name of the table.
Table
Exactly.
B.
Yeah.
Right. So we chose the table because where the event actually exists is on the table. The object type is table. And the close thing to the table is what? The database.
Sure.
Now, we have, what I do is, if I don't know what to do, I put my cursor on the event and I see object type, object ID. So for me to get the object ID, event name, right? So I have event name. So I don't think that is explanative, but this is how we do it. Object type, where can we access this event, right? Then the next one is the event. You can see when I press my IntelliSense control space, I have suggestions. So I have on after alter echo name. So for this one, I remove this, skip false. We are still having error. Something is wrong somewhere. Let's see. Event subscriber can only be used within the code unit. You saw what I said. I was still looking if this event was going to allow me to write event subscriber on the page. So I could only write event subscriber inside the code unit. So let's just cut this and create a code unit. New file. We are not following any of our principle here, so it's just because no time, please. Let's just say what's the number? Generate number for me. Let's just say we don't need this. We don't need this for now. So we
How
only
did you
want to
create the
paste.
number?
Add I
Was there
control space. IntelliSense will also give you that.
the next number?
Yeah, the next available
really?
number.
I didn't know. Okay.
All right, so you can see now it doesn't give us any error. So what I like to do is, so that I recognize what I'm working with, I change the procedure name to what the event is actually named. So if I want to get the value inside, the same thing, control space, it gives me the options inside this event. So I have username. Now I can do whatever I need to do here in the username. So let's also do the same thing for the next one. And this is on after, let's do on before. We have one after, we have one before. Now, what I want to do here is, the first thing I want to do is, whenever it gets to on before or on after, so I want to change the username to Daniel. Remember, this is me now writing my own custom code. Initially, the function would have assigned a value, and we are expecting to see that value, right? But on after, I want to run this code. I want to change the username because, and yet I want to be sure that this event actually occurred. So I want to now say on after events function, change the name to username. So let's just copy this signature. Let's also paste it here. So this one change it to Okpe, right? Then here we have on before change, right? So this is what we have. Now remember, let's go back to the table. What we actually did is we are expecting a value, and at the end of the day, we want to return that value. as a text. We are expecting that this username that the user provide, we are exiting it, or let's just say we are actually messaging it at the end of the day. Let's say we don't need this to return anything. We just want to message. Next message. Final name is, then username. Now, let's also put a message before any of this event occurred. %1, then username. Now we have difference now. We have the name originally that the user pass. Original name is this. On before alter function, we have changed the name, right? We can also message here that changed name is right. Although we already have messages that differentiates when this event occurs. Now we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are expecting 5 messages. The first one is showing the original message that the user passed. The next one is when this has modified the original name, it's prompt out his own message. Then that name that he has changed, we message it out. Then this takeover, this also tells us that he has done his own work. Then the final result is this guy has done his own work, right? So if we had not subscribed to on after, that means this is the only guy. The value this guy said will be the last value on it. So let's save and publish. There's even a video I uploaded recently, maybe I think a month ago, on subsidiaries, creating a, I think I named it subsidiary something, I've forgotten. So I did the part 1. So I was expecting like maybe I'll see comment or people interested in it. I would have done the part 2. So the part 2 actually spoke more on use case. I did use case on that event. You see on a real, you said?
That subsidiary related to event subscriber.
Yes, it's related to event subscriber. It's just we creating a record that record along all subsidiaries. The record is available. And the same data, when you modify, let's say you modify your customer in complaint A, or you create a new customer in complaint A, that record is also automatically available on that record. So it's like it takes all the consolidated record of customer in all subsidiary without you going in there to add or to press a trigger. Do you get?
Oh, really?
Yes. So I was expecting comment or stuff like that. So
I didn't get that.
I didn't get it.
Yeah, I saw it. Like I didn't see the what's it called? Notification that you uploaded. I will have to check it out.
I uploaded it a month ago, or a month, 2 weeks, or 1 week ago. So I was expecting that was when my channel went at 8,000 subscribers. So I was like, don't let me just share this information. It's expensive. So that's page B. Okay. Now, I think next time we'll just pass a value that is maybe be here so that it can be dynamic. So do we remember the first name we used? What was the first name originally? So let's
Daniel, I
confirm.
think.
Daniel is I don't think it's Daniel. There's a name that we passed to that action,
The
Dio.
first one. Okay,
Yeah,
the
this is
first one.
Dio, the original name, Dio. So we are expecting to see Dio. Yeah, we are expecting to see Dio normally. So when I click on this, I can see original name is Dio, which is what we expect to see. And if I go back to the table, you can see that original name is what? Dio. This has occurred. Let's press OK. So the next one is what? On before alter echo function, change the name to Okpe. So let's check where that event is on our code unit. Sorry. You can see on before, right? We change the name to what? Okpe. Now let's see the next message. Change name is Okpe.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh shit, they will change name is Okpe. So the next one we are expecting the on after, and then the final name, which is this is the last guy that modified the name. So let's see. On after echo function, change the name to Daniel. So what is our name now? Daniel. So I think this is like a straightforward explanation on events and event subscriber. So
Yeah.
you already have your
It's quite
procedure that does your normal thing, and you create the integration event just in case somebody wants to add additional things to it. So that is why we can pass in our new fields to the system. Let's
opens
say
up
we
a
want
lot
to try.
of possibilities.
Yes, it opens, you get, especially when you are working with
Based
workspace.
application.
Exactly. Base application, you have already write an integrated event. From there, you are able to now access it in any application you get.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a very beautiful one, and actually using it, just find a way to use it, keep using it. It saves you from
Yeah.
using some stupid method or some, writing a whole lot of codes all over
Lot of
in different
codes.
pages.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you
And
can also see in let's say in document attachments. So
yeah.
let's just check it. We are not going to run through it. We just check. Yeah, I remember I've changed the location. No, I think it's here. So let's just see base application. Let's see. So if you see document attachments, they already have the signature of you notice that when you now use the document attachment, you now attach file, it will attach, but you'll be able to access the file in the next document, in the third
Yes.
document. That's because the document is not saying the difference. So we see on the table, I'll see it on the page. And I think it's on the page. Okay, so let me check the card. Don't go, please. In case. Okay, we didn't go. Attach details. Let's see. It's you. Exactly. So this is it on drill down. But you now drill down to access or to attach new documents, you will now see that you can still access the previous one like that, like
Yeah.
that. And that is because they have defined the document types here. You can see these are all the only documents that it will be unique to.
Yes.
Although you can now add your own through what events. At the end of the day, you see that it ends with what? After their last case. What did they say? They say on before drill down.
Okay, before drill down. Okay.
So they added this option for you to subscribe to it so that you can add your own documents and put the same conditions there. So if we check this event, let's see here, you can see that is what an integration event.
Yeah.
See how beautiful it is. I can create a new table and I'll attach my document attachment to it and I'll put my conditions here and everything works like they built it together.
Yeah.
That's the beauty. All right, so I think how many we've spent like, yeah, I think we spent enough time on it. Any question? So let me stop recording because I want to use this too. I need to sleep early so I don't wake up late again.
I'm going to work tomorrow. I have to sleep early. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I want to start recording first.